What's up YouTube, the Random Outdoorsman is back, and today I'm going to be showing you 5 different tenders to use with a ferro rod. To start out, we're going to use a cotton ball, and a cotton ball is a pretty classic fire starter. It can be soaked in Vaseline or rubbing alcohol to make it even more flammable than it already is, but today I'll just be using a normal cotton ball. So, you're going to take your cotton ball and you're going to kind of puff it out. Make sure there's a lot of these fibers exposed, because if you leave it just as one solid ball, it will only burn the outside layer because the inside cannot get oxygen. So you want to make sure it's nice and puffy. And then you'll take your ferro rod, stick it right down in the middle, and send some sparks down on it. And you see how fast that lit up? It only took 1 or 2 sparks. So there you go, and you see it's burning. Depending, it does not have a very long burn time. Sometimes if it's soaked in rubbing alcohol, the rubbing alcohol will burn first, and then the cotton ball, so you might get some more burn time there and or Vaseline. So that's all for the cotton ball. Next we have the paper towel, and right next to the cotton ball, this is also a pretty popular fire starter because it's pretty readily available anywhere but the wilderness. So you're just going to take your paper towel, kind of crumple it up, put your ferro rod down into it, just like everything else, send a couple sparks down into it. It will take more than the cotton ball, but eventually it will get lit, and you will have fire! So, and you see how big of a flame that burns. Try not to burn my camera here. But it consumes very quickly, as you see. It's, at this point, not lasting as long as the cotton ball, even though the cotton ball is smaller. Leaves a lot of good embers there, though, so let's say you weren't able to get the fire started, but you had some tinder that you would use for, like, char cloth or just bow drill fire. You could just go ahead and throw those embers into there and catch that on fire. Okay, now we have fire cord. This is a kind of new and seems to be getting popular type of tinder because it's normal paracord with a flammable strand inserted. So you have all the usefulness of paracord and the ability to start fires now. So you're just going to take this little red strand and pull it out of this fire cord. And you will need around a 7-inch piece, definitely not much smaller than that, because then it doesn't burn for very long. Once you get it pulled out, you want to pull these fibers apart to give it the maximum amount of surface area, because just like the cotton ball, if it's all wound up, it can't really get oxygen in there, so it will not burn as well as hot. It might not even completely consume, and then it's hard to get little small pieces started that could have contributed to your main fire. So once you get it pulled apart, you see how I'm kind of wrapping this into a ball. You'll put your fire steel on top of it and start sending down some sparks. Once you get some good hot sparks there you go. It's on fire. And then you see it's not coming off my knife. Likes to stick to whatever it is on when it first catches on fire. So, oh gosh, burning my pant leg. You see how that lights. It's definitely a little bit easier than the paper towel. Not as easy as the cotton ball, though. I don't think you can beat one good strike starting something. But as you see, it did not even completely consume the fire cord. So this might not be the best option if other things are available to you. Now we have the wet fire tinder cube. And this is very popular, especially I think for the military, because it can be lighted easily, can light when it's wet, and it can be blown out like a candle. I've seen even when you make little small pieces of it, it can even float on water and burn, which is pretty amazing. And one cube, if I'm right, a whole cube lasts around 3 minutes. But to start it with a striker, you want to normally break it up into smaller pieces. That's what I do, at least. So break it up into a couple smaller pieces, and then put your fire steel down to it, and send out a couple sparks, and it will catch on fire. You do not have to break it into smaller pieces if Conditions are ideal. If you get a couple nice big hot sparks on the main cube, it will catch on fire. But you see how well that burns and how big that burns. And like I said, it burns for way longer than the other tinders we have covered so far. But obviously more expensive than a big pack of cotton balls. But waterproof, which is nice. So to finish off this video, we have magnesium shavings. And although these burn from 2,000 to 3,000 degrees, they do not burn for very long. So you want to make sure to have your tinder ready. So normally, unless you buy these pre-machined, you're going to have a magnesium block, and you're going to take some kind of a sharp object, and you're going to scrape off magnesium shavings. And you see how those just curl off of there very nicely. So continue to do that until you have a quite large pile, because I can't say enough, these shavings do not burn for very long. So get a nice big pile there. I'm only going to have a pile about this size for this video, but you will need more. So once you have your pile there, get it into one cluster, and then take ferro rod and hit it with a spark. So you see that just burned for a flash. Although it may be hot, just burned for a short amount of time, so make sure to have your tinder ready. Alright, that's all for today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you want to see next, and what your favorite tinder is from this list, or maybe another one. So that's all, and happy trails.